Tulsa! When this comes in, every hate, every voice does not stand still. Tulsa! It's time to snap your necks and headbang with us! Are you ready? This is Parasite! Tulsa, how you doing? Tulsa, you gotta do better! Listen to the devil's best. Sitting my things into what I see. In the final days of Jordan's day. In the death of devil's best. And I die. And I turn to live. Parasite that lead to war. My door is empty. Dreams are in the try. Why do from Tulsa. Parasite that feeds the world like open veins and drains the river dry. Why do I feel this fire? Sing this broken melody. My enemies still sings a siren song. Why do I cry? We're gonna make the fight against the world. I want to see some movement on this next one. This is the third son. The sun. Get up, get up, get up, yeah. Come on, your what's up, get free. Come on, your what's up, get free. Come on, your what's up, get free. Some hurt, galvanized by the bright white lights filling up my eyes. I sink deep in the cold. Synchronized, walking down the back of lives. I sink deep in the cold. Something like that is giving it. What it all is back out my skin. Turn the lights like the shadows and the fire. Cause we are the children of the dead now. In the dark we all just get along. Just another day that we fall apart. Born in the wind doesn't walk the walk. In a world that loves to fight and take that side. Come on, your what's up against me. Come on, your what's up against me. Some roots weaponized by the death of bombs through the skies. I sink deep in the cold. What it all something like that is living in. What it all that burning up my skin. Turn the light that the shadows and the dark night. Cause we are the children of the dead man. In the dark we all just give it up. Just another day that we fall apart. Pointing at the windows and walk the walk. In a world that loves to fight and take that side. That is flowing from my hands is an evil that grows and expands. Every flower and every fruit has been poisoned by this bitter root. The darkness has become my plight. Still I love it instead of the light. It's a nature that I can't reverse. It's a bear in the mind. dark of the skies. Wandering souls who have felt on the hem of their own sin. That is within. Don't you lose heart for the hands of the physician. We'll take you in, take you in.
Tulsa, if you know this next one, sing it with us. This is Lights and Fire. Put those hands up high in the sky.
Hanging there just by a thread. Something from the nose in your head. It's an over 100 pound everything I was held on to. Switching it up, looking to a fire. All I ever have was in me.
Let me hear you.
Can you see the light inside your heart? Burning down to nothing's left. Switching through light and ashes. Whoa. Listening to hear the love that laying here with nothing left. Just the ashes of my silhouette. Is anything here but all the thorns that block my way? Just watching it live up. Only too much fire. All I ever have was the need. Can you see the light inside your heart? Burning down to nothing's left at all. Sifting through light and ashes. Oh, the love that set you alive to a downward spiral. Listen up to the fire. I never know. Set you alive to a downward spiral. All the thorns are tenderly with so much pain. Everything I want to love to. Everything I want to love to. Everything I want to love to.
Tulsa, let me hear it.
Can you see the light inside your heart? Burning down to nothing's left at all. Switching through light and ashes. Oh, listening to hear the love that
Tulsa, thank you so much. Tulsa, we gotta pick the energy up in here, am I right? Well, this one's a banger. That means I need every foot moving and every head banging. This is Shadows.
Huh?
Give it up for 13 minutes and heal the hearts. Tulsa, are you ready for convictions? They're about to come out here and melt y'all's faces off. That does not tell me you're ready. Tulsa, are you ready for convictions? What better way to help you get ready with this next song off Wasteland? It's called Smoke. Your words on the table, short word is down. My tongue up with fire, words like gold on
Blame it on the false devils. Fire in the lungs, fill this morning. So fire fills your eyes. Blame it on the false, blame it on the false devils. Making more time. Fire in your lungs, fill this morning. All is not false, fire fills your eyes. In silence, my bones waste away. reminding me every day, like a splinter that's under my skin. No, I'm hiding the sin that's within. The smoke is not clear and I see a fear this cold reality. The bones that have snapped up my dead, breathing all of my heartless bloodshed. My eyes are fixed in a broken deadlock, as I'm left staring at this cursed death walk. As I feel it growing with every breath. The wages of my sin bring the promise of death. This revelation of guilt makes me cry. Is this why we all have to die? Glittering souls who have felt their life is on death row, and your fear grows. So you look so for the hands of the possession, won't let you go. Separate sin, every consequence that you would face. He will embrace, take your place. Tulsa, I want to ask you a question. If God could speak to you right now, what do you think he would say to you? For a minute, I'd just like to imagine that you and I are just sitting across the table from each other. We're not at a show, there's not a big crowd, and this isn't awkward. Think about, what would God say to you if he could speak? And maybe that question is a bit unnerving. Maybe it makes you uncomfortable. Maybe it makes you feel uncertain or fearful or ashamed. But the reality is that we don't have to wonder what God would say to us, because we have a God who speaks. He's not silent. You see, first and foremost, God has spoken to all mankind in an incredible way. When you leave the venue tonight, just look out into the sky. Look out into all the world that God has made, and you're going to see a creation. You're going to see a designer. You're going to see plants, trees, animals, other human beings, the trillions upon trillions of people that he has made, which is incredible to consider. Organisms we've never discovered, stars we've never seen, stars that we can't fathom or count. The depths of the sea, no man has gone to the depths of and seen every organism. There's a wild world for us to see where God is showing to us that he's powerful. He is a creator, and he rules over all things. But our God hasn't just spoken through creation. The creator stepped into the created world and took on flesh and blood, just like you and I. And he had a mouth, and he literally spoke to people just like you and me. And it might make you wonder, if God comes to earth, what does he have to say to his creation? Because when I think about his creation, and you just turn on the news, you look out into the world, and you see what's going on. There are wars, genocide, hatred, murder, rape, and every single evil under the sun that you can comprehend. We have not responded to God the way that we ought. Not to him and not to one another, because we can see that we have responded to him by going, I don't want to live the way you would call me to live, and I'm not going to love others the way you would call me to love. It's evident, because it's not just out there in the world and all the evil that we see. There's a whole world of evils inside of all of our own hearts, because we're full of hatred and envy and greed and lust and selfishness. Because we haven't given to God what he deserves, and we haven't given to each other what God calls us to. Man, when I think about that question, what would God have to say to mankind? What would God have to say to me? I gotta be honest. I feel like his message to me would be, there's judgment, there's wrath, there's punishment. it's crazy to me that for so many people that speak about Jesus and who he was and what he was about, they ignore the fact that he literally came and said who he was and what he was about. He had a message. And he literally said these words. Your God came to this world and literally said these words. The Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. That is the message that our God came to this broken, sinful world with. And the thing that's crazy to me, not just about you guys, but just myself, that I refuse to believe that. I wouldn't embrace the fact that he came to die for me. I wanted to show myself to be wonderful and good, but I wasn't, and I'm not. And to be honest, if you're anything like me, neither are you. And the question is this. God's message to you is that he came to save sinners. Are you a sinner? And do you need saving? Because that's the message of the gospel. That's what makes somebody a Christian, is you're trusting in the work of another, not in your own. So do you believe that God is that good? I ask you to ask yourself that question. Thank you guys for listening. We got some songs up.
Tulsa! In the wasteland there is one rule, and that no one is safe. So I want you to unleash all chaos in this room right now. This is the law of the wasteland. The wasteland contains singularity, self-question. What's up to open you? Everybody does what's right and do what's wrong. What's that? You're wrong when you're living in dark wasteland. Tulsa, we thank you guys so much. Please give it up for every band that's playing tonight. They're doing such a good job. So much fun. This is our last song. It's an oldie but a goodie. If you know it, sing it with us. This is Dead Man. Let's go, Tulsa!
Tulsa, we love you guys. We're always in faith. Please stick around.